Hey everyone, this is Emily. I had lots of people emailing me and asking how I did the self-portraits of myself and made it look like there's two of me. So I decided that I'd just do a video and blog about it instead of trying to answer everyone's emails. It's actually really easy, and it's so much fun because once you learn how to do it, you can be really creative and do most anything. I did mine in Photoshop Element 7, but I'm sure that you could do it in most any other editing program like GIMP or Paint.net. Oh, by the way, I would really recommend getting Paint.net to anyone that's starting out, or if you just don't have money for Photoshop or whatever, because it's completely free and it's really wonderful. I used to do all of my graphic design for blog designs on there before I had Photoshop, and it's just really incredible. I liked it a whole lot. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to take these two photos and merge them together to make this. First of all, you need to start with the photos, of course. It is super important that you have the same base image or background, and in my case, that's this brick wall here. And so for this, you'll need a tripod or something to set your camera on where you know it won't move at all. It's insanely difficult if someone is holding the camera, because if they even move like half an inch, it'll throw the whole photo off. So I had my little sister sit where I would be sitting, and I focused the camera on her, and then I set the camera to manual focus so it would have the same focus for all the pictures. So then I set the camera to the timer, and I would run back and forth to get the pictures. My remote is being really dumb, and it won't work, but if you have a remote, use it, because that would make this about 1 billion times easier. Okay, so make sure that you stand, sit, jump, or whatever in the same, not in the same, sorry, in different places, because you'll need to move over a little bit for each picture. Otherwise, you're copying and pasting yourself instead of merging photos, and that can look kind of like, well, cut and pasted sometimes. So here I jumped over in this corner a little bit, and then I sat over here so that I wasn't in the same places. Okay, so once you have the images that you're going to use, pull them into Photoshop or whatever you're using, and make sure that you don't do any cropping or straightening or any other editing to the pictures. They need to be completely straight out of camera. You can edit it once it's all put together, because then it'll just be the two images and you don't have to be editing both of them. Okay, so then you need to click on the Move tool, which looks kind of like an arrow, and pick which picture you want to be the base image. So I decided on the jumping picture, but it really doesn't matter. You can pick whichever one you want. Okay, so now go to the image that you're just going to put over the base image, which is this one of me sitting. Then just click and drag the image onto the base image like this. So you just click and you drag it onto this one. So then you click on your base image, and this is what it looks like, and it looks exactly like the one of me sitting. But you can see over here in the layers panel that there's two layers, and this one is layer 1, which is me sitting, and the background, which is, or the base image, which is me jumping. So what you need to do is go over here to the layers, and when you're clicking on layer 1, the one of me sitting, is go over to the opacity and change it. I usually do about 50% just so I can see what I'm working on. But then you can see both pictures, so you can see the jumping one and the sitting one. I mean, if you lower it all the way, it's just it's back to the base image. But if you pull it up all the way, it's the sitting one. So you want it somewhere in between. So we'll do 50%. Okay. Now that you can see both of the images, you can start merging them together. So get your eraser tool, and you can set it pretty big. And I don't feather it when I'm doing this. Sometimes I do for like the little, like when I zoom in. So get the eraser tool, and basically just start erasing back the person and their shadow. So just like that. And when I'm doing something like this, I might as well just go ahead and erase all of this too in the corners. But you want to also make sure that excuse me, that you don't erase over onto the other person's shadow of me sitting. So like if I erase right here, you can see that it's starting to get kind of messy right there. So we don't want to do that. Okay. So so you start erasing back everything that you want in your image. And since it's the same image, basically, the base image and the sitting image, you don't have to be that careful with it. So you just start erasing, and once it's all done, you go back over to the layer panel, and on layer 1 you can raise the opacity all the way back up, and you can see here that I did miss a little bit, so you go back and you change that and pull it back up, and there you go, and then you have your 2 images. So then that's basically it, but what you want to do is you want to go over here to the layer panel and then click on background, and then right click on background and flatten image, and that'll just make it one without the layers. But you don't want to do that until you're completely done changing the opacity and everything. Okay, so that's it, and that's the finished image. This tutorial applies to basically everything. Once you understand how to merge them and mask them and do different things like that, you can I mean, there's no limit to what you can do. You can do all sorts of fun and creative stuff. And then, so once you're finished with your image and it's flattened into one, you can straighten it or edit it or crop it or whatever you want to do. Okay, so I hope this answers most of your questions, and if it doesn't, and if you have any more or you get stuck, please feel free to email me or leave me a comment, because I'd love to help. Let me know if you try it, and I'd really love to see the pictures that you merge. Have a wonderful day!